Did you go to the link?
I took the link in his email.
There you are.
Email.
You're on. There you are. You're on.
Okay. I will close that now. Just get rid of the feedback. And with that, we'll call the Sacramento Housing Redevelopment Commission meeting for August 19th.
Gotcha.
Order.
You waving. Okay, gotcha. Okay, bye.
Lyra, can I turn over the microphone to you?
Sure. Public comments will be accepted throughout the meeting at public comments, PUBLICCOMMENTS at SHRA.org, no space, or by calling into the Zoom meeting as outlined in the agenda, or by using the raise hand feature in Zoom. Announce that the meeting is being live streamed on YouTube as well. Would all commissioners and staff participants please keep microphones muted unless you're speaking? Due to using Zoom for the meeting, the chair will ask for comments from each member on each item or groups of items after the staff presentation. Commissioners or staff should use the raise hand feature to ask for recognition at other times.
Thank you very much. With that, we'll go to roll call. If everybody could unmute your mics.
Okay. Alcalay.
Here.
Boyd. Griffin. Morgan.
Aye. Here.
Nunley. Osmany.
Here.
Stajabu.
Here.
Starks. Wu.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. Thank you. Is there any changes to the agenda? Seeing none, the agenda is approved as submitted. Lyra, citizens' comments paragraph, please.
Sure. While the commission welcomes and encourages participation in the commission meetings, please limit your comments to 3 minutes so that everyone may be heard. SHRA provides opportunities for the public to address the commission at this time in order to listen to opinions regarding non-agendized matters within the subject matter jurisdiction of SHRA. Consistent with the Brown Act, the public comment periods on the agenda are not intended to be question and answer periods or conversations with commission members. Members of the public with questions are encouraged to contact staff before or after the meeting. Because meetings are currently being held remotely, options for comments include: 1, comments may be emailed to publiccomments@shra.org, and they will be read into the recording during the meeting. Attendees who join the webinar using Zoom can use the raise hand feature in Zoom when they want to be recognized, or attendees who join the webinar via phone numbers will be called on by the chair as public comment is taken for each item, and they can indicate verbally their desire to comment.
All right, thank you very much. Were there any public comments submitted?
No, not at this time.
Okay, cool. So that will take us to the approval of the minutes. Are there any corrections to the minutes?
No.
Seeing nobody waving their hand, the minutes are approved as submitted. That will take us to presentations. Lyra, the first presentation, please.
The first presentation is the annual project tour for SHRA commissioners.
All right, who's up? If there's supposed to be sound, we're not getting it.
Hi, this is Celia Iniguez, Program Manager for the federal programs. So you just saw Nicholas Park, which was completed, the improvements were completed this summer. The federal programs provide CDBG both in the city and the county, and we fund for design and construction of park improvements anywhere from 2 to 4 projects a year. Of course, this is just a sample of what we do and the projects that we fund. It may be a streetscape project, as well as other things such as our public improvement, our public services. But this was just one of the sample of one of the projects that were completed in the county. One important thing to note that this is near a future project that staff is currently working on. We released a request for proposals for development at 46th and Lang, which is about 1,000 yards away. And we hope to bring forward in the next several months a development proposal for both multifamily and single family on that site. So what we try to do from a larger impactful perspective is to fund projects that are near other improvements that we're doing in the neighborhood. So these improvements will not only support the residents currently living there, but in the future, other folks that live in affordable housing. Anybody want to add anything or any questions? Anything to add, Michelle?
Okay, we'll keep moving on with the presentation. And we're going to stop at each juncture and have staff talk a little bit about it and be available for questions.
Thank you.
Hi all, I'm Mike Taylor, Program Manager of Real Estate and Construction Services. Most of you know about our pre-program, our Welcome Home program. These are two of the most recently completed houses. As you can see, they look like new houses when they're done. We didn't have before pictures in this presentation, but you've, I think, seen enough pictures in my prior presentations to know what kind of shape they were in. So we're really proud of the way these turn out. There are a total of 76 houses in the program. I'm assuming everybody can hear me okay, right? Okay, good. And we've sold 59 out of the 76. So, there's 17 left, many of which are in escrow, and 5 of which we still need to put out to bid. And 4 of those 5 are duplexes that we're doing lot splits on and creating half plexes out of. So we are winding down, and the duplexes will be out to bid later this week. And then the last one is a single family home that needs so much work that we're going to tear it down and build a new house, because it's down to pretty much open framing now. It needed so much hazardous materials abatement and had mold. So all the drywall was removed and the stucco is shot and the foundation is shot. So it's really not worth rehabbing at this stage. It'll cost probably the same, if not less, to just tear it down and rebuild. So that's what we're gonna do. And it'll look like new when it's done, because it'll be brand new when it's done. So yeah, it's been a great program. The homeowners love them, and wish we had more to do, but after this, I think pre is done for a while. Contractors slowed down a little bit with COVID, but then they ramped back up, and they're all going great guns now. So yeah, it's full steam ahead until we cross the finish line.
All right,
Thanks.
thanks, Mike. Any questions for Mike? Thank you. That's been a good program. It has.
Yes, thanks.
Okay.
Good evening, Christine Weigert with Development Finance. Going to be talking about, I think we have about 6 or 7 projects in a row that are for our multifamily lending program. As you know, we issue mortgage revenue bonds and provide gap financing for both the rehabilitation and new construction of affordable housing here at SHRA. And we're very proud of all of our projects and the program. This project in particular was a rehab of a project that's about 26 years old now. It is very close to Sutter Sport. It is owned by Mercy. And I think you all hear about us rehabbing the interiors with new kitchens and new bathrooms. And fortunately, we couldn't see that on this tour today, and the exteriors and making sure there's new playgrounds and paint. But there's sometimes things that we don't point out. And for this project, for instance, there was a lot of water seeping in from the sidewalk into the downstairs or underground parking garage. And it was so bad that residents really couldn't get their cars in there in the winter because of the water was so bad. So that's an example of this one was unique for that, but that's one of the things here. If there's any questions on this project.
I got one question real quick. The loan is out of forgivable?
Our loans are not forgivable. Our loans are structured to be typically deferred for 15 years. That allows the developer to repay any developer fees or any other upfront costs that they incur. But then our loans kick in usually around year 16, and they are typically hard payments. So they are due and payable every year, and they do pay them.
Okay, cool. Any other questions? All right, thank you, Christine.
So Village Park is located in North Sacramento, and I can't tell you when I look at those pictures, and because of COVID, we haven't been able to do our grand opening. So when I saw this video, I was so pleased the way some of the landscaping. I mean, this project was really needed interior improvements like bathrooms and kitchens, but it had no community space at all, no community room. There was one small leasing office. There wasn't even a restroom for the property manager to use. That's what dire it was. The residents had no place to, for after school activities. So we provided funding. They built a new community room, improved the leasing office. But I would say the exterior is the biggest improvement on this project. And I know Lachelle remembers our walkthrough on this very clearly, because it's a Southeast Asian community, and it's a great community. But they do a lot of their own growing of vegetables, and there were just plants everywhere, which was great. But you could tell the residents really wanted their own community garden spaces. So we were able, working with Mercy, to put in those exterior fences so they all have their own yard space. They were also put those, you can see the raised flower beds where they could do their planting. So it looks so much better. I can't tell you how much better the exterior looks. I'm sure the residents are enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
So any questions on that one?
Don't see any. All right, next one.
So Capitol Park, I know we spent a lot of time talking about Capitol Park, but it's good to see the area photos there. We are down to about 33 shelter guests at the Capitol Park now. We started it almost a year ago now, and we're winding down, as the video said. We imagine the shelter closing in October. There are 8 residents from the original 80 that are still there, but those 2, we have plans for all of those, working with Mercy to make sure all of those original residents find permanent homes. And as we wind down the shelter, we look forward to the next phase, which is Mercy basically taking the interior of those buildings down to the studs. I mean down to the studs. There's not much that can be saved on the interior, although it's a historic building, so we are very cautious to make sure the exterior is being preserved and improved. You know, the project is recipient of No Place Like Home funds, which are state funds for homeless individuals. It has a loan from the agency. I'm trying to remember, as project-based vouchers. We're proud of that. That makes sure our Housing Choice Voucher staff gets recognition for that. 9% tax credit. So it is a model of what it takes and all the different funding sources it takes to make something like this happen. But we're looking forward to construction starting, and within about 18 to 24 months after this November, we should see a brand new 134 unit permanent supportive housing homeless facility there. Any questions on Capitol Park?
Doesn't look like it.
So this was a trio of projects that were financed together. They're all fairly small, so I think it's 91 in total of the 3 scattered sites. And sometimes that's what you need when you're a developer, to sort of package multiple projects together and get the financing. 2 of them are catty corner from each other. They're all in North Sacramento. I would point out that we thought all 3 of them would be completed by now, but it's interesting, one of them is not, and that is because they rehab them in sort of in order, 1, 2, 3, not all at the same time. And when they got to the last one, COVID hit, and they couldn't move the residents out, because residents are often moved out temporarily for the rehabs and the rebuilding of the kitchens and bathrooms. And they go to a motel or hotel for a week or 2. And in this case, they just couldn't move the residents out to do the rehab because of COVID. So it got slowed down. So I think we're going to see some more of that when buildings are being rehabbed. But they're back on track, and I think the 3rd one will be finished very quickly. So any questions on those?
What is the restriction because of COVID? Are they not able to move to somewhere, or is it they just can't communicate with the process?
So now, when COVID first hit, of course, nobody was moving anywhere. They weren't going to stay in hotels. They weren't doing anything. But now they're able to ask folks, if they'd like to go to motels, and they are going, or they're working around folks. But it's you can't really force someone to leave their home right now if they don't want to. So it's slowed it down.
Okay. Anyone else got a question? All right. Courtyard.
So I think this is the last one of our affordable housing developments, and it's probably one of the ones we're most proud of in recent years. It is was taking a motel that was built in the early 1970s and completely rehabilitating it and adding new units, some new two-bedroom unit buildings to buffer sort of the street from the old motel. But as you can see, motel rooms were combined. Two motel rooms now make a unit. They're bathrooms and new bathrooms and kitchens. The community space, although you couldn't see it, is beautiful inside. It's just great. It's the old restaurant, if anyone used to know what the restaurant associated with that motel was. But it is also has project-based vouchers in it. So again, an example of how SHRA can take our gap financing and couple it with vouchers and really help a developer make something special. It is homeless project and it's completely leased up now. So that is Capitol Park. Courtyard Inn. Do you have any questions on that?
So maybe we should mention about the history on this one because some of our newer commissioners wouldn't know. Mercy usually has to go and beg and plead with the county to do a project. This one, Susan Peters came and says, can we do something with this property? And so it was like the reverse process. Still took a while to put it together, but it's been a great boon for that community. And it's been almost a week since I've been by there. That looks really good. So kudos to everybody involved.
Thank you.
Seeing no questions, go on to the next one.
Good evening, Chair Morgan and members of the Commission. I'm Sarah O'Daniel with the Housing Choice Voucher and Homeless Innovations Department.
Can't hear you.
Talk a bit louder. Good evening. Can you hear me now?
Much better.
Great. I'm Sarah O'Daniel with the Homeless Innovations and Housing Choice Voucher Department. And I guess they saved the best for last, maybe, I'm not sure. But we're very, very excited to really embark on this new homeless shelter that we're going to be overseeing. It is a great partnership between the City of Sacramento and SHRA. The City Public Works is, as you can see from the aerial and the pictures, they're still in the middle of finishing up the last touches of that shelter, and we are looking to open on September the 1st. I also just wanted to let you know that while the slideshow mentioned that there will be 100 homeless women at that shelter, due to COVID-19, we are starting with 50 homeless women. And then depending on how things go with the pandemic, we hope to ramp up to 100 homeless women, giving priority to those in the Meadowview area. Again, from the video, I think you saw the text. We will have kennels there if they have dogs. There will be 3 meals provided. There are restrooms, there are showers, laundry facility as well. Case management will also be provided, and the operator at the site is Next Move Homeless Services. It is gated, and there are security cameras as well. So with that, I will stop my comments and see if there are any questions.
Any questions, anyone? Yes, Barry.
You're on mute.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Sarah. Question for you, Michelle as well, sorry. The slideshow showed the budget now at 11 million. The last number I saw, I believe, was 7 million. What brought it up to 11 million?
Well, good question, Commissioner. That budget is really taking the construction as well as the operations together. So that's the overall budget. When we brought our staff report, it was just for the operational side, but there were costs that City Public Works had also incurred. So this is the total budget.
Wow. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think one thing that's important to notice, and I think that the city did an excellent
We can't hear you, Michelle.
I just really wanted to say one of the things that's important to note, and I think the city engineering department did a very good job, that what you're looking at is not just a tent. It really is a physically engineered, constructed site. The material may be a tent, but I mean, it has all of the infrastructure, everything that's necessary to actually build a building. It is fully air conditioning, it has heating, all of the things that you would have in any other normal type building. So I think it's kind of a misnomer when people talk about it as a sprung shelter that was just kind of popped up. It is not that. It is an actual building with all of the pipes and plumbing and everything else necessary to operate it, and to ensure that the people who will be there will be comfortable and be living in a very decent and safe and sanitary environment.
You know what kind of insulation it has?
Excuse me?
Do you know what type of insulation it has?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'm not sure. Okay. So I'm hearing that there is an insulation, but it has everything else.
All right.
So that concludes our virtual tour. So normally we would have an opportunity to get out and on our bus and go and look at a lot of these particular sites. Even I haven't had a chance to see some of them as a result of COVID. So I think we may have some questions and comments that have come in. Lyra?
No comments.
Yeah, I think you want to just answer these, Sarah?
Yes, there were two comments that have come in. One is, will this be similar to the XY?
Can we take the microphone again?
There are two comments that came in from Jeffrey Tardigia. One is, will this be similar to the XY shelter? In terms of it being a sprung shelter, yes, that is the plan at this point, that when there's funding available and we get the go ahead, it would be a sprung shelter, working again with City Public Works. The second question is, how long is this shelter for women to run? It is anticipated to run for a 2-year period.
All right. Thank you much. Anybody else have any questions? I think that takes us to the executive director's report.
Okay. So it's very brief. Our next commission meeting is scheduled for September 2nd. So I want to make sure that you have that on your calendar. And also we are going to be putting together a virtual celebration for Mirasol Village. So very excited about all the work that's going on out there, a lot of construction. And so usually we'll have a groundbreaking type of event. And this one we will do a virtual event on Facebook Live, you know, due to COVID. So we'll have some people who will be out there and be on camera. But we will actually, instead of inviting everyone, they'll be able to tune in on Facebook Live and see our groundbreaking ceremony. So please make sure you have that on your calendars. It's Thursday, September 3rd at 10:30 a.m. And you'll also receive an invitation to watch it on the agency's Facebook page. And that's all that I have.
I have a question on that. There's construction cameras on the site, and I lost my link to that.
I can send you the link again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry?
I can send you the link, Gail, if you need it.
Okay, cool. Maybe you send it to all of us. That'd be cool. Give it to Vicki and have her send it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool watching that. And then one day I did something, I think I deleted the email, and I went back to grab it again, and it wasn't there anymore. So I think that, any questions?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing none, that takes us to the chair report. Since it's a tour, I didn't get.
There was one more question on the chat, just FYI. Is that something somebody wants to respond to, or?
Hold on, we're pulling it up.
All right.
I
It
did,
wasn't
I didn't get it on my chat.
I can read it if you like.
Go ahead.
It's Mr. Tardigia again, and it says concerns of staff changes, rumors run ex-dear, like ex-director, has in this pandemic changes? Question mark. Concerns of staff changes, rumors run ex-director has in this pandemic changes? Question mark. So maybe he's concerned about staff changes due to the pandemic. I'm not sure if there's an ex-director involved.
Maybe it's executive director.
Yes, perhaps.
Could you repeat that again, Lyra?
Concerns of staff changes, rumors run, perhaps executive director has in this pandemic changes? Question mark.
I don't know. Well, I guess in terms of the pandemic and with staff, we are in a situation where HUD, the federal government, is very concerned about the programs that we run and is providing the funding and providing additional funding for us to really address the pandemic. So we're not in a situation, if the question is about, you know, will we have the funding for staff as a result of COVID, because some of the local jurisdictions, you know, will have some budget challenges. That is not the case with the agency due to our federal funding and the fact that the federal government is very supportive and wants to ensure that the families we serve do not fall into homelessness. They have been giving us the resources that we need to maintain our staffing and to address the additional costs and expenses as a result of the COVID-19 crisis. And if that's the question, I'm assuming. Okay.
All right.
Oh, there's another question. I think he may have on the chat. Let's see.
I'll read it. Sorry to Executive Director. I heard a lot of staff changes occurred. I've heard rumors, lots of staff changes without public meetings. Shall I read it again?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to Executive Director. Looks like heard, lot of staff changes occurred. I have heard rumors, lots of changes without public meetings.
They usually don't have public meetings for staff changes.
Exactly. I mean, there are people who, in the normal course of just our business, who move on and take other opportunities, but there hasn't been anything, out of the normal. So I'm not really sure about what those rumors are.
All right. Well, there's no SHRA report today. I buried my so questions and concerns of commissioners. Michael.
I just want to thank staff for this excellent bus ride. First time I didn't get car sick. So enjoyed it very much, and thank you for all the efforts. And the courtyard looks great, along with the other properties. So thank you.
I know, it's amazing. Courtyard just opened in May, and they are completely leased up. So it's a great project.
Is everybody moved in?
Mm-hmm.
Because the photos didn't show any people. So
I saw one.
There was a person.
Oh, okay.
It was one person, but yeah. I
They
think he was
were inside.
trying to, take the, exterior without showing a lot of faces for obvious reasons.
Barry, you had a question.
Yes, how's Coach Griffith doing?
I have not talked to him directly. We did hear back from his, I believe it's his niece, and we haven't taken action on it, but he likes anything that contains peanut butter. So if we want to do something that has peanut butter on it, maybe we can send emails to Vicky between now and September 2nd and get something coordinated there.
Okay. Thanks, bud.
Stajavu. Your mic is muted. You're still muted. Let me see if I can unmute you. No.
Okay, how's that?
We can hear you now.
Okay, I have two inquiries about CV Circle and SHRA's involvement in New Helvetia and the Broadway project. Who should I direct people to?
If you could just send those to Vicky, then we can respond.
Okay.
Questions.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I know Tyrone sent out an email mentioning that, I'm not sure if I can bring that up really fast. I probably should have mentioned that. It's going before City Council. And if anybody would like to say favorable words, Tyrone. Can you get past the compliment there?
It was August 25th.
City Council, August 25th, 5 p.m. City Council will be voting on the plan. If you or any other SHRA commission members or resident council members could call in, that would be very helpful. There is a campaign by opponents to influence the council's decision, Many of their talking points are not based on facts. They are rooted in fear-mongering and misinformation. You and informed others should add balance to the discussion. So I'll definitely be sending a comment in there, and I may sit in live on that one and offer live comments too. But anybody else that's interested on the Broadway specific plan, I believe is what it's called. And
West Broadway
people's,
plan.
I'm sorry?
West Broadway specific plan.
West Broadway specific plan. And there's a group that's going around saying that SHRA is going to use that to tear everything down and make all the people in public housing homeless. And such rumors. That's just one of the rumors. There are others. So there is no plan to do that. So that's the good aspect of that. All right. Anything else from anyone? All right. With that, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Oh.